Okay. I like starting these videos with me coming outside. Welcome to the day in the life. Today, what are we doing today? We're thinning out some stuff. Not overly exciting, but I think it is a subject that a lot of people don't really understand that they need to do this, especially new gardeners. So I'm going to show you how. And it's going to be a sad day for some seedlings. It's just the way it goes. If you want good carrots, you got to do it. Okay, so thinning carrots. I'll just pop in my headphones, listen to some sort of podcast, audiobook, whatever the heck, and you just sit there and pick them out. It's a super easy job. It just takes a little bit of time. So I'll do that. You guys don't need to watch me do the entire thing because that won't be exciting. But I'm gonna sow some more seeds. So I don't know what day it is. It's getting to like towards the end of June right now. Yeah, I'm just making sure that's right. We're towards the end of the June right now. And so we still got July, August, and then into September before it starts even thinking about frosting. So that's around 30 times 3. That would be like 90 days. So we still got lots of time. A lot of people don't think that they can do a second sowing of things. And here you can to an extent. It's not really a second sowing. Like nothing is ready right now. But if I have some patches where things just didn't come up, or things died off, I can direct sow some seeds. When you direct sow something into the ground and it's just in the wilderness rather than starting it inside and then hardening it off and then bringing it out like I have to do in the spring, this direct sown seeds do so much better. They come up faster and they're way stronger. So I'm gonna try some things this year to see how good my harvest is. Like I said, it's the end of June right now. So I'm gonna direct sow some broccoli, some zucchini, some, what is this? Dragon tongue bush beans, some cauliflower, and then Armenian cucumbers. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get Armenian cucumbers, but I'm gonna try. Last year I tried to grow them and I didn't get squat. But I overplanted last year. So let's see if I can get some growing up these trellises in time to actually get a harvest. That'd be cool. I mean, if I don't try, I'll get nothing. So I feel like let's give it a shot. And all of my melons are pretty much dead. So I'm gonna put like squash and beans and stuff in replace of those and hopefully get a harvest this year. You guys are getting lots of close-ups today. And you can also check out all this fuzz, poplar fuzz. Awesome. Makes it really easy to do all this. Just kidding. So, thinning out carrots. So as you can see, these are sown really thick. The reason why I do that is so that the seeds can help each other push up through the soil. My mom told me this at one point, and I've never had issues sowing carrots since. This is grass. So you seed them heavily, they help each other push up through the soil, and then once they're pushed up and they're at about this stage, so they're getting their first true leaves, so they first get leaves that are just these small ones here that don't have any kind of frill to them, and then these frilly ones are the true leaves. That's what they're called. So once they have those, that's when I start to thin. So the only thing that I look for is when they're grouped really, really close together. You don't want that as they get larger, or else they will not become their full size. They'll stay these small, tiny little spindly things. So you basically want to look to see which ones are really, really close together and which ones are further apart. And I just kind of like, I imagine, see this small guy in here? He's really close to this one. This one's really kind of big and healthy looking, and this one's really small. That'll happen throughout the entire row if you don't seed, or if you don't thin them. So thinning is super important. I go through about 2 or 3 sessions of thinning out. I do this first one. This is the first time I'm thinning out once the true leaves have popped up. And then I will go through another session of doing this once they get kind of, I don't know, that wide. And you can see the tops of them once they start coming up. Once the tops are about that big, like a pea size, I'll thin them again to get even larger carrots. Because the end goal is to have a big, thick, large carrot. But the in-between ones are good too, because you can do quick pickling. You can eat them raw, obviously. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do in between. So you get kind of 2 harvests of carrots. You get little baby ones, and then you get the big ones. And that's the goal for thinning, and that's why you do it. If you do not thin your carrots, you'll end up with these tiny little spindly things that only get about that long. So it's definitely worth it to do it. You do need to sow them thick for them to push through and get really great germination like this, but thinning out is necessary if you sow them like that. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to thin out are my beets. A lot of people say that you don't need to thin them out, but I have always thinned them out because this is how thick I sow them. You don't need to sow them this thick. I just didn't know how the germination was going to be this year because I've had these seeds for probably about 5 years. So I just wanted to make sure that I was going to get good germination, and I did. So I'm going to thin them out. I'm just going to take basically the really weak ones and pull them out. I don't need this many beets close together. So with thinning like this too, if you wanted to, if you had enough, you can use these as microgreens. They are, especially beets, they are so full of nutrients and different vitamins. It is so good for you to eat beet greens. Whoops, I just picked off that leaf. I'm just trying to see which ones I want to pick out. Microgreens are so good for you. But when I pull these out, I don't pull out enough to really do much with them. If I had like a sandwich or something, maybe I would put them on there, but I don't, so I'm not going to. And that is a weed, so we pull that out. But yeah, this is basically what thinning out, guys, is. You can leave beets fairly close together and they'll grow in clusters. But when you have like a really kind of weak one growing beside a really strong one like that, I would just pick them out. You don't need that in your life. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go. That's a lot better. They were really sown quite thickly. So that's good. I'll leave those probably all year. And I'll get some that are smaller, some that are bigger, and that'll be totally fine. So all of my melons are either puny little yellow things or they're completely dead. This one is located on the very edge of my garden, right beside all of the trees and stuff. And I think, because there's literally nothing in here. It's gone. Something ripped this out. So I think a deer or something must have came along and just been like nom 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 and ate it. So what I'm going to plant here is my squash. Zucchini, deer will not touch. So I'm just going to dig out a little hole. Oh my God. There's something there. I don't know what that is, but I was scared it was some weird, huge bug. Guys, I love gardening. What I don't love is bugs. My husband will tell you. I get a little crazy. So anyways, these are zucchini seeds. I'm gonna plant 2 because I always plant 2 just in case one doesn't germinate for some reason. And deer won't touch them because they're fuzzy. Well, they haven't touched them because they're fuzzy in my experience. They're fuzzy and they're kind of pokey. So they don't want nothing to do with them. Hopefully when they're like a little baby seedling, they still won't pull them up, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so the other thing is these, I'm not even gonna call them sweet potato bags anymore. I was. But clearly I'm not meant to have sweet potatoes. I literally have one slip. The one that I made over winter is still alive. So I will have one bag that has a sweet potato slip in it. See how that goes. The other one that I'm going to plant in these are maybe I'll go like broccoli, cauliflower, and I'll get 2 of each. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 1 of each, and then I'll put the dragon tongue bush beans in the cage over there because it's actually right beside the other beans. So that makes a lot more sense. I'm gonna do that. That's what we're gonna do. But I gotta get these off of here. I'm gonna do a close-up with me putting this guy in. So this is all I do. It's super simple. Just spread away the straw. Give a couple seeds. The first thing I do, like the reason why I don't like tap these right into the soil is because, like, watch this. See how many just came out? That is like 8 seeds. I do not need 8. So there's 1. Roll that in there. It went right there. And then I'll grab another one. Just 1. See that? Like, you get way too many. So that's why I do this. Put it into my hand first. That way you're not overseeding and getting crazy. So I'll put the one there. So there's 1 there, 1 there. And all I do is just kind of pat some on top and put it in there. Like, you don't want to shove them down too far, or else they won't be able to come up through that soil. So that's all I do. I don't cover it with straw yet, but once these seedlings get, I don't know, maybe that tall, I'll take one of them out, and then I will cover it with a straw, and then they'll be good to go. It's just as easy as that. I've already kind of spread away the straw. Again, put them into my hand. See how 4 of those came out? Like, especially when they're tiny little seeds like this. I just want to be careful. Because like a seed pack is like, depending on the one you get, sometimes they can be like up to $5 for a seed pack. So you don't want to throw a bunch of seeds in there, and then you have, especially something like cauliflower and broccoli. I'll tell you why I don't sow these as much as I maybe should. Okay, so broccoli and cauliflower is one of those things that, for me, it's not like it's not worth it to grow broccoli and cauliflower, but I kind of see that one plant as 1 serving of vegetables. So I'll plant 1 plant and get 1 head of broccoli or 1 head of cauliflower. You may get multiple, but because our season's not super long, we don't usually get a whole bunch of harvests from 1 broccoli or 1 cauliflower. So yeah, when I plant a cauliflower or broccoli plant, I'm basically getting 1 vegetable, 1 fruit, whatever you want to call it, out of that. And when you're talking about planting something like beans, or a plant like beans, you get so many harvests out of that. Like, I'll plant 4 of these in here, and I'll get numerous dinners of sides. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, but, or have that as a meal, but I'm going to get like 4 or 5 harvests just off of 1 plant. So in this cage, I would put 1 to maybe 2 cauliflower, oh, there's a worm there, cauliflower in 1 cage. And in this one, I can put 4 bean plants, and I'll get 4 or 5 harvests off of 1 of those. So that'll be like 20 harvests off of just 1 cage. So to me, giving up space in one of these cages for just 1 to 2 harvests over 20, not worth it. So, and the other thing that I want to do this year is learn how to can. And beans, you have to pressure can. You can't water can them. So I want to also learn how to do that this year. And so this will be a good opportunity for me to do that. I'll be overran probably with beans this year. That's okay. Being overrun with something is better than having nothing of something. So there, beans planted, cage on. Done. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 more things. Well, I'm gonna do more than 2 more things out here. I still gotta weed and I gotta finish thinning out my carrots, but I'm going to plant the Armenian cucumber in a couple different places out here. So I've had issue with my melons this year, and Armenian cucumber is actually it's known as a melon as well, because it gets big enough and it has like kind of a melony flavor and texture to it once it gets big enough. But it also can be used as a cucumber when it's younger. So I'm going to plant it in some of these areas that I have, the melons have kind of failed. I'm going to plant one there. I'm going to plant a couple on a trellis and see if it works. Why not? Let's give it a shot. Again, if I plant nothing, I will get nothing. So let's do it. There was one more thing that I wanted to do today, and that is placing a straw on my potato row. So I'll probably also do that. I'll do a little video of me doing that. That'll be fun. Super exciting. I think that's it for the day. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys are staying hydrated out there. It's hot out. Keep the sun off your skin, all that stuff. Hopefully that helped you guys. If you're wondering about thinning, what it means, why you do it, hopefully that sheds some light on it. And also, hopefully you learned that if you don't seed something, you're not gonna get anything. So you might as well try. But that's it for today's video. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it to your friends, do all the things and the stuff, and I'll see you next week.